Welcome back to Solo Adventures. My name is Livi and I'm here again with another BGG Solitaire contest game. So today we're taking a look at Village Builder, which was made by Janine Viglietti. Village Builder is a tile-laying game where you attempt to build the best village by gathering as many points as you can. Now, as usual, if you're not interested in actually watching me play this game and you just want to hear my final thoughts, feel free to skip to the end. Otherwise, let's find out how it plays. Alright, so let's get set up for a game of Village Builder. So first things first, we need to separate out the different kinds of cards. So you have these special starting blue cards that have a blue border. And you're going to have these disaster cards. 1 fire and 2 plague. Since we're playing on normal level, we only need 1 fire and 1 plague, so we can set the other one aside. And you're going to want to have the 3 starting options here. You always have to start with a peasant hut, but then you can decide if you want an ore mine or a lumber hut. And it doesn't really matter, so I'm going to take a lumber hut. The other starting card goes back to the box. So as you can see here, we've divided the cards into 3 equal piles. In a normal game, we take the 1 plague card and we shuffle it into this middle pile. And then we have to shuffle it up really good. So we have no idea exactly when that plague will strike. So here we have the 3rd pile goes on the bottom. And then we have the 2nd pile and the 1st pile. So this game consists of multiple phases that make up a round, and I think it's easiest to explain how to play this just by getting started. We can see here we have our tracker. We start with 2 coins. And just a little note about the resource tokens that I have. The file doesn't come with tokens as far as I can tell, so you'll have to find your own. And I was feeling creative, so for the coins, I happen to live in Europe, so I have a easy supply of cheap golden colored coins. And here's for stone, these little river pebbles. And then for wood, I cut up little logs from a bigger branch that I just found outside. So it kind of adds to the tactile nature. I like it. So we start with 2 villagers, 2 coins. We start with this tracker here at hand size 5. We might increase it over time. And we start with maximum villagers size 2. So we can have another maximum 2 villagers for every home that we have here. So we have our peasant hut, that's worth 2. Even later on, if we have like a noble house, it doesn't increase our maximum by any more. It will just help us make people faster. So just a quick note about these cards. The card art is quite lovely, but I was having a problem reading the icons in the top left corner here, and these are important later on when we look at scoring and what order to build things in. So I just wrote over the numbers with a wet erase marker, because before they were white on a kind of beigey yellow background and it was really hard to read. So I had to modify that just to make life easier for myself. So stage 1, we draw cards. So our hand size is 5, so we can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Phase 2 is we send the villagers to work. Now we only have 2 places where we could work. In order to activate the building, we have to set a villager here on the lower right-hand corner. So we could activate this corner to generate another villager, except we don't have space because we only have 1 house. So we can't really do that. But I can activate this lower lumber space. So once all of my villagers have gone out to work, then we collect the resources and the benefits of the various cards, and they can all be quite different from each other. Right now it's pretty simple. So I just have one lumber. The villager goes home, and I get my wood. Then we get to the building phase. So this is where stuff gets interesting. We look at the cards in our hand, and we're allowed to build any of these buildings here as long as we can afford it. So you see the cost here at the bottom. For example, this workshop is quite expensive right now. It's worth 8 gold, 1 wood, and 1 stone. I only have 2 golden coins, but the good news is that we can also use the cards in our hands as gold. So technically I have 5 gold, or if I was actually going to spend them on something, then I guess 4 plus 2. So let's see what we want to build. Maybe I want to build an ore mine, because that would let us get stone. Yeah, I think I want to build an ore mine. So I want to build this. It costs 3 gold and 1 wood. So I have my 1 wood, and I'll spend it. And then I have to decide which of these I want to discard. So I'm going to get rid of Big Bazaar, the second ore mine, and the workshop. And these are in the discard pile now. I'll hang on to this for the next round. So now when we place our building, we have to put it somewhere touching a building that has already been placed. So in a fashion not too unlike Carcassonne, we want to try to match up buildings and features that are the same as each other to make sets to score points. Because that is the ultimate goal of this game, is to just score as many points as possible. So here we have a residential area. There's a little special icon there, but it's really hard to see. It's like a scroll. Here the industrial buildings have little hammers on them. So lumber hut and ore mine. I'm going to put them right next to each other. And that's the end of this turn. Then we start again. So we draw cards. So I already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I can look ahead at maybe what I want to try to build in the evening phase. I don't really need another ore mine right now. I only have 2 villagers. A bazaar is extremely nice because it lets you pick up 1 extra card per turn, so that's super powerful. Citizen house is level 2. I would have to build that in a level 1 building. So this little number up here, this level 2 building, I would have to build on top of a level 1 building of the same type, in this case residential. So it's the same here with commercial. So this is a level 3 commercial building. I would have to build that on top of a level 2 commercial building. And then that, of course, would have to have been built on level 1. Markets are really nice because we can trade resources for any other resources, or gold if we want. If we don't build anything during the build phase, then we have to discard half of our hand rounded down. So in this case, I would have to just get rid of 2 cards with no benefit if I don't build any of these. So I'm going to send my villagers to work. Lumberjack and a miner. And now we collect the resources. So we have 1 wood, 1 stone. And now we get to build. I think I want to build this ore mine and put it right next to this ore mine. Make a really big ore mine. In order to do that, it costs 3 gold and 1 wood, so I have the wood. And then I will discard the house, and the market, and the blacksmith. And hang on to the bazaar. So I'll put this here. Now there is a special rule about where we can place things. We're not allowed to put more than 5 cards in a row or a column, like in a singular straight line. And we begin again. Another ore mine. Well, this pig farm is good because it will allow us to collect gold. But in any case, I still only have 2 villagers, so here we go. And we collect 1 wood and 1 stone. And now we can build buildings. So I really would like this pig farm. I only have 2 gold. So I'm going to spend these 2. I need 3 more to be able to afford it. So 2, 3, 4, 5. And I will put the pig farm. Suppose it might make sense to put it next to this peasant hut. And we begin the next round. Let's send our guys out to work. So we got a gold and a lumber. So they generate 1 coin, 1 wood. What do we want to build? So this warehouse here is kind of special. It's a commercial building and you can only build it at the end of a row or a column. So if I put it there, that means I couldn't add another one over there. And it allows me to store 2 cards. So instead of discarding, I guess I would be able to keep 2 cards for later. This one allows us to store cards, so I guess I would be able to take 2 of these cards and put them in storage if I wanted. I can spend a maximum of 5 gold this round, and that is not possible for me because everything here costs a minimum of 6. So I'm going to have to discard 2 cards this round. Let's get rid of the warehouse and the medi market. It'd be nice to be able to build another house so we could have more people. That's kind of the strategy 101 when you're playing something like an RTS, like a real-time strategy game. You want to have lots of villagers to generate lots of resources. So I'll send the villagers off to work, and they will generate 1 gold and 1 stone. So that's what we get, gold and a stone. Now we can only have a maximum of 5 stone and a maximum of 5 wood, but we can have a maximum of 10 coins. Anything here we want to build? I think a bazaar would be good because then we could have more cards in our hands every turn here. So that costs 6 gold though. So I would have to spend 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's all of the coins, all of the other buildings in this row, and wood. Now I can place this somewhere. You see this little half circle here? If I can somehow put this next to another building where this picture is made complete, I will get some kind of an instant bonus. So this will probably be instant gold because it looks like a little stack of gold. So let's put this commercial building, how about here? And we can have 6 cards in our hand now. The surgery will allow us to ignore the effect of the plague, so that would be really nice if we could build it, because later on when the plague happens, it will kill everybody except for 2 villagers. Although we do only have 2 villagers right now. Get a gold and a wood. Anything we want to buy. I think I want to build this sugar mill, and it costs 4 gold. So I have to spend 3 of these. 1, 2, 3 of these, and one of these, plus either stone or wood. I have more stone, so we'll spend that. Now the sugar mill has this little bread loaf here, but I don't have anywhere to match that. It is a commercial building though, so I want to put it next to the other commercial buildings. Put it there. And I'm going to run out of space soon. Okay, so next round. 6 cards in our hand. Okay. Ooh, a peasant hut. So I can finally increase my population. I definitely want to do that, but it's going to cost me gold. So I'm going to put there and there. So that's 2 gold. And I want to build this peasant hut. Cost 2 gold. And I'll put it right next to the other peasant hut. Next round. Oh, a catapult. If I build this, it will allow me to demolish any building. So if I didn't like where I put one of these, I could get this catapult. So let's make more people. And what should I do with this one? So we get 1 extra villager and 1 gold. So I think building this lumber hut would be nice because I can put it right next to the other lumber hut. It costs 3 gold and 1 stone, so I'm going to get rid of the catapult, crop farm, and I'll spend my coin. So I can't add another one at the, or I can add only 1 more at the end of either side here. Okay, we'll send out our guys. So we'll make a, oh, we have to increase maximum villagers to 4 because we have 2 houses now. So we'll make another villager. Gold. Gold. Now if we could build the bakery, we have the other half of a loaf of bread here, so if I could play it here, that means we get an immediate bonus of 2 gold. I could do that. Let's do it. So that costs 5 gold. So we'll spend 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, and 1 stone. That goes there. Bam, we have immediately 2 more gold. Oh, plague. So when this comes up, you have to play it immediately. My village population drops to 2 because these are the only survivors. And we get to discard that though, and then draw an immediate replacement. So now I only have 2 people. I think we have to get busy making more people. So there, and ooh, the tannery gives bonus points for adjacent farms, so I think I want to be able to buy that. So we get 1 person and 1 gold. So to buy the tannery, it'll cost us 4 and 2 wood. So I have 2 wood. And I have... do I want to spend the coins? It's nice to have liquid cash for the more expensive buildings down the line. But do I want any of these? So I can only have 1 bazaar because it has a U on it. So that means that I can't spend this one anyway. Or I can't build this one anyway. Let's do that. We will spend the bazaar and all of our gold and build a tannery. I can only put it here because if I put it here, then that would be the last one I can make in that line. And I want to have a little bit of flexibility. Well, another surgery came up, and that is too late. I know that there's not going to be another plague going down the line in this deck, so that's a safe bet to get rid of. So here we make another person. We have our max of 4 now. 1 lumber, 2 lumber. So I'm going to try to build... Oh, I can't build the vineyard, not yet. I think I'm going to build another pig farm. So that costs 5 gold and 1 wood. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gold, 1 wood. And now this row is finished off here. Or column, I should say. This column is finished off here. Okay. A market would be nice so we could trade some of our resources back and forth, but I need a level 1 market before I can build... Or wait! I can build a level 2 market on top of any of these commercial buildings. What do I want to? Okay. So we get 2 gold, a wood and a stone. Maybe I want to build a lumber hut. 3 gold and a stone. 1, 2, 3, and a stone. Go out there and make some money. So 3 gold. And 1 stone. I want to build this peasant hut. So that costs 2 gold. Increases my maximum villagers to 6. And I will put it... Maybe right here. I think this workshop would be really good. So let's make a lot of gold. and one person. So we get an additional person and 3 gold. So I have 1, 2, 3. So I have 5 gold. I could just spend 3 of these. Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Plus 1 lumber and 1 stone. But now we have a workshop, and this will give us 1 victory point per building in adjacent sets. So a set is any group of more than 1 of a type of building that are put next to each other. So we'll put the workshop right here. That seems like it makes sense, right between the ore mine and the lumber hut and the peasant hut. This kind of makes sense. Go make some money and get another person. And some lumber. So let's see, we have gold, lumber, villager, gold. So it would be nice to build another ore mine because we get more points, the number of ore mines that are next to each other. So I'm going to spend 3 gold and 1 wood and put the ore mine here. We're allowed to put this here because there's only 4 in this row. So even though the whole village is more than 5 tiles wide, I can still put that one there. One more peasant hut, then we could reach maximum capacity. That sounds good. Let's go make some money. 1, 2. So we have 1 gold, 2, 3 gold. Two stone. And a lumber. And we'll build another peasant hut. Put it here. That costs 2 gold. Increase our maximum population. Get 2 more villagers. And gold. So now we're at maximum villagers. 1 gold, 2, 3, and 4. Let's build a market so we can trade. So that's going to cost us 5 gold. And wood. It would be nice to be able to build this harbor statue because it's worth 3 victory points, and we can put it right at the end of our ore mine there. But it costs 9 gold and 3 stones, so a little expensive. Put our people out to work. Two gold, 2 wood, 2 stone, 2 more gold. So I want to buy this harbor statue. I can't put it here because it's already 5, and I can't put it here because there's already 5. I can put it here though. And maybe that's what I want to do. Okay, so that needs 9 gold. Let's spend 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Expensive, but I think it will be worth it. So this fortress is worth 5 victory points, but you have to put it at the end of a row or a column. Most of my rows are all done here. Alright, so that's a lot of villagers to look at. So we got gold, gold, wood, stone, we're already at max stone, that was silly I guess. And we can trade, so I'm going to trade 1 stone for 1 gold. Gold, gold. Let's build the fortress because it's worth 5 victory points. I'm gonna put it here so we can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2 stone, 2 wood. There we go. So I have another harbor statue in my hand, but this little U here for unique means that I'm not allowed to have another one. Gold, gold, 3, gold, 4. Stone, 2 wood, and let's trade our stone for some gold here at the market. Now we're at maximum gold, that's 10. So let's spend some of it. We haven't upgraded a building yet, so let's do that. Let's put the crop farm where the pig farm is. So that costs 8 gold and 1 wood. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oop. It only costs 8 though. And 1 wood. So we'll just trade that out. And we refill our hand. As you can see, we are out of cards, so that means that this is the last round. Let's try to get this statue here for the additional points. Three gold. Wood. Stone, stone, stone. Gold, gold. Max gold. So I want to build one of these peasant huts right here. Cost me 2. And another, ooh, we want the harbor statue, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 gold, 3 stone. There we go. And I will put that here. And that is that. So now we have to add up our points and see how we did. There's this really nice handy little points helper sheet for helping us add up the points. I laminated it so I can use it multiple times. So it doesn't really matter how many resources we have left at the end of the game. They don't really count for anything. So now let's look at the sets. First look at the residential. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 houses in the residential area. So number of buildings is 5. And the highest level is 1. So that means I get 5 points for that set. In this commercial area we have 1, 2, 3, 4 buildings. And they're all level 1. That's 4. Yeah, I think we only have 1 commercial set or district, I guess, and then 1 residential. So, lumber huts. So we only count the lumber huts in a set. So we have 1, 2, 3. Don't have any outside of that. 1, 2, 3 ore mines. Workshops. How many residential houses that are in sets are next door? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Don't have a vineyard. have processing. Don't have a local pub. Don't have a blacksmith. Wow, our village is really missing a lot of features that you would expect to find in a little medieval village. And we do have a tannery though. So it gets 1 point for its adjacent farm building. And then we did get the fortress, the harbor statue, but not the statue, apiary, or brewery. So let's do the math. 9, 12, 15, 20, 21. Our score is 21, so let's see how we did. So there's a little scorecard in the back where we can compare our score. 50 or less. Worst village ever. Well, I guess I can't say you're wrong there. We don't have any taverns and we don't have a blacksmith, so this is pretty much a terrible village. I don't think that even the lowest level D&D party would want to come here. But yeah, so we might have made a terrible village, but what do I think about this game? So, I might be terrible at building villages, but Village Builder is far from a terrible game. First, let's talk about the build. So, Village Builder is mostly made up of this big fat stack of all of these square cards. And these cards definitely do the job, and I think that they look pretty nice. The art style, I think, is really cool. Ooh. And while the cards definitely do the job, I think that they're very hard to shuffle. There isn't really an easy way to mix these guys up. Maybe if it was like Carcassonne and it was on actual tiles that you could shake up in a big bag, it would be a little bit easier to mix. But that would be kind of hard to just keep them all in one big stack. Building this game shouldn't take you too long. It did take me a little while though, particularly because at the time of when I made this game, there wasn't, it was difficult to figure out where the border between the cards should be. It wasn't really well laid out in the file, and so it took me some time, and some of my cards are still kind of off kilter. A few of them are a little bigger than the others, but it's okay. What do I like about this game? First off, the art style is nice. It's kind of washed out, sort of like color pencil-y maybe. I don't really know how else to describe this. It's very cool colors. A very chill kind of vibe to it, and I like it. If I'm not wrong, the designer herself also did the artwork for these cards, so if that's the case, good job. What else do I like? I find it really fun, and I like the aspect of kind of building up a little engine, even though it's not a very complicated little engine, and figuring out what buildings you should prioritize. I found this game really fun. It does feel a little bit like a more fun version of a Solitaire Carcassonne or something like that. It is basically a beat your own high score kind of game, but there is a table in the back that tells you how good or how bad you did. So that's always a good thing. I just find it so fun to watch my little village grow, to see its layout and thinking, okay, over here is sort of the residential district and over here is the industrial district. It's really fun. It's pretty satisfying. It can get really sprawly all over your table. I tried to keep things pretty contained for the review just so that it could all be in the camera at one time. But normally, it just goes everywhere. I really like how the buildings have different functions and how not only can they get you victory points, but you can also use them to generate resources. It's fun sending my little people out every day to go to work and decide what to do. And it's pretty tragic when a plague strikes, actually. It makes me feel kind of bad. There are so many different kinds of buildings, but it's not too overwhelming because there are not that many categories of them. And they all do some pretty different things. I think the mechanic of having the little pictures that you can complete with the little circles on the side, it's ingenious. I love how you can kind of try to balance the short term with the long term. I mean, you might really need that little gold bonus right here to buy that one building, but this might be a less than optimal place to put that building, so you have to really kind of weigh the pros and cons. I also really like having to make the decision between hanging on to my cards to hope that my villagers can play longer and ultimately make more buildings, or to spend my cards right away so that I have the gold to make the buildings that I want that turn. Also, you can basically hang on to the same card that you got in the first round for most of the game if you really want to try to play that way until you can finally afford it. I think this game is really fun and clever from a gameplay perspective, but I would say that most of my gripes about it mostly have to do with its production quality, I guess. First thing is that the cards are really hard to cut out straight because in the file there aren't guidelines, really. You have to kind of just guess. And maybe that has been fixed now or will be in the future, but at the time that I made these cards it was hard. There's also the problem of the little bitty icons in the corner. Now, I have really good eyes, and I had a really hard time kind of squinting and trying to figure out what some of these things are. The white against the beigey yellow was so hard to read that I thought that the U at first was actually Roman numeral 2. That's not too hard to fix by just writing over it with like a permanent marker or something, but I think that this would be a lot better if the icons were bigger, and maybe even if they had different colors, because the icons are mostly differentiated based on what the little picture is, whether it's a scroll or a hammer or a coin purse, but when it's so small it's hard to really tell what it is. So I think it would be useful if they had maybe different colors, or maybe different shapes even if the designer didn't want to change the colors. The game doesn't come with any tokens that you can make to represent your coins stone and wood, so I guess you're going to have to get a little bit creative with that. In my case, I think it actually worked out for the better because I wouldn't have used physical coins, stones, and sticks if I had been given tokens. And having this nice, heavy, tactile kind of quality I think really adds to the game. So if you build this, I suggest that you do it too. You might not be in Europe, so you might not have access to snazzy gold-colored 10-cent coins, but I'm sure that whatever coins you have available to you will be just fine. Now, I think the biggest drawback of this game is actually the scoring at the end, which can get a little bit complicated, a little bit drawn out. It definitely helps to have the little scoring helper card. I think I would have been a little bit more lost without that. It really helps me remember to go down the list and make sure that, okay, do I have a tannery? Do I have this? Do I have that? So, Village Builder. It's a cute little game that can become quite addictive. Give it a try, and try it a couple times. The first time you try it, you might not really fall in love with it, but after you get used to how the scoring works, I think you're going to have a really great time. I think of all of the games that I've played in the contest so far, this is the game that feels the most like it would have come out of retail or something. And that's definitely not a bad thing. I appreciate how inventive the other games in the contest have been, but it's really nice to have this little polished economic builder game with a theme that is relatively familiar to any of us who like to play board games. So if you like what I do here, please like and subscribe, and consider joining the group for solo adventurers on Facebook. The link is in the description below. We're a fun little community and we are growing every day. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Take care.